For more than 2 decades, two of hip-hop's biggest moguls, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson and Sean Diddy Combs, have been locked in a bitter rivalry. It's a feud that has played out across diss tracks, business battles, and a relentless stream of public trash talking. But in the last couple of years, something shifted. As a storm of legal scandals began to drown Diddy, 50 Cent's long-simmering disdain erupted into a ferocious, all-out public assault. This is no longer just about music or money. This is a war over legacy, survival, and what both men claim is the absolute truth. When federal agents swarmed Sean Combs' lavish mansions in Los Angeles and Miami, the world watched, completely stunned. But one person wasn't surprised. He was ready. As news of the raids broke, 50 Cent's social media exploded. He launched a real-time, unfiltered commentary that has raged for months. He has mocked Diddy's legal predicament, relentlessly promoted a tell-all documentary, and turned his rival's spectacular downfall into a global spectacle. So, the question isn't if they have a feud. The real question is, why has 50 Cent made it his personal mission to utterly demolish Diddy? To understand why today's attacks are so nuclear, we have to go all the way back to the beginning. The early 2000s were a golden age for hip-hop, an era of larger-than-life personalities and expanding empires. Perched at the very top was Sean "Puffy" Combs, the magnetic founder of Bad Boy Records. He was the industry's ultimate showman, a hit-making producer, a chart-topping artist, and the architect who defined the sound and style of the 90s. Diddy was the establishment, a king in his castle, draped in platinum and prestige, seemingly untouchable. He was a New York icon, born from the city, and for a time was managed by the late, great Chris Lighty. And then 50 Cent arrived. Curtis Jackson didn't just enter the scene, he crashed into it like a meteorite. Defined by his 9 bullet scars and fueled by a raw, unflinching authenticity, his debut album Get Rich or Die Tryin' wasn't just a record, it was a cultural reset. He built his G-Unit empire into a media powerhouse, directly challenging Diddy's Bad Boy in both influence and ambition. He too was a New York force managed by Chris Lighty. At first, things were strictly business. 50 even ghost-wrote for Diddy, a quiet collaboration between two titans. But their paths were never destined for teamwork. They were set on a collision course. One saw himself as an untouchable king, and the other saw himself as the man destined to burn that kingdom to the ground. The Cold War between 50 and Diddy officially turned hot in 2006. That was the year 50 dropped the diss track, The Bomb, elevating their beef from subtle jabs to explosive accusations. On the track, 50 didn't just question Diddy's street credibility, he aimed a lyrical finger directly at him, suggesting Diddy knew who was behind the 1997 murder of the notorious B.I.G. He rapped, "Who shot Biggie Smalls? We don't get 'em, they gonna kill us all. Man, Puffy know who hit that With that single line, 50 Cent drew an undeniable line in the sand. From there, the feud became a constant backdrop to their careers. There was the infamous Vodka War, Diddy's Kyrock versus 50's Effin' Vodka, a business clash 50 amplified with non-stop social media trolling and the hashtag number #NoPuffyJuice. But the animosity always ran deeper than brand competition. 50 Cent used every platform available to chip away at Diddy's polished facade. He relentlessly questioned Diddy's masculinity, mocked his dancing and lavish parties, and warned people that he stayed away for a good reason. To the world, it looked like a master troll at work. But to 50, it was a slow, methodical campaign. He was planting seeds of doubt, patiently waiting for the day they would finally sprout. For years, the feud simmered as hip-hop gossip. Then, in November 2023, everything changed. Diddy's ex-girlfriend, singer Cassie Ventura, filed a bombshell lawsuit containing horrific allegations of rape, abuse, and sex trafficking. The case was settled in a single day, but the dam had irrevocably broken. More lawsuits followed, each detailing disturbing patterns of alleged abuse. The world was finally paying attention. The situation went critical in March 2024 when Homeland Security agents raided Diddy's homes in Los Angeles and Miami as part of an ongoing federal sex trafficking investigation. This was no longer about diss tracks or vodka. It was about alleged crimes that could put Diddy behind bars for life. The federal raids were the moment 50 Cent seemed to have been waiting for his entire career. It felt like total vindication. Everything he had been insinuating for years was now at the center of a federal criminal investigation. 50 immediately shifted into overdrive. He announced he was producing a documentary about the allegations, tentatively titled Diddy Do It, and revealed it had been picked up by Netflix. He also pledged that all proceeds his company receives would be donated to victims of sexual assault. His Instagram transformed into a 24/7 news channel dedicated to the case, flooded with savage memes, jokes, and commentary. As the legal proceedings unfolded with shocking testimony, 50 was right there, using every development to ridicule the disgraced mogul. This was no longer just trolling. It was a public takedown, executed with surgical precision. So, what is the true motive behind this relentless 2-decade campaign? The reality is, it's not one single thing. It's a toxic cocktail of deep personal animosity, fierce business competition, and masterful opportunism. First, there's a genuine personal dislike. 50 Cent has been clear. They were never friends. He views Diddy as the embodiment of an exploitative industry, a soft executive faking a tough persona. For a man who famously survived 9 gunshots, this perceived inauthenticity is the ultimate offense. Second, it's about competition. From record labels to liquor brands, their rivalry has always been tied to their bottom line. Diddy's spectacular fall from grace presented a golden opportunity for 50 to elevate his own brand. The Netflix documentary is a stroke of genius, transforming his rival's crisis into a major cultural event that he directs and controls. Finally, 50 has expertly framed his attacks as a moral crusade. He has cast himself as the whistleblower, the one person brave enough to speak truth to power. The legal scandals have given his years of accusations a powerful sheen of credibility. He's no longer just a troll, he's a self-proclaimed truth teller. Whether it's driven by genuine moral outrage, or calculated opportunism, or a potent mix of both, it has proven to be a devastatingly effective strategy. This story is far from over, as Diddy's federal trial has seen weeks of testimony, and a verdict is on the horizon. What do you believe is the main force behind 50 Cent's campaign? Is it a personal vendetta, a brilliant business move, or something more complex? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to stay on top of the biggest stories in music and culture, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. The saga of 50 Cent versus Diddy has morphed from a standard hip-hop beef into a seismic cultural moment. It has transcended music, evolving into a raw story about power, abuse, and the demand for accountability. 50 Cent's endgame appears to be nothing less than the complete obliteration of his rival's legacy. It isn't enough for Diddy to be exposed. He must be erased. The relentless social media onslaught, the highly anticipated documentary, and the constant public pressure are all weapons aimed at a single target, ensuring that Sean Diddy Combs is remembered not as a music icon, but as a cautionary tale. This feud reveals the brutal dynamics of power and the tangled motivations of human conflict. It is a story of a 20-year grudge that found its perfect catalyst in a national scandal, relentlessly driven by an enemy who is as vicious as he is patient. Whatever the ultimate verdict in the courtroom, the court of public opinion has already been heavily swayed, thanks in large part to the tireless campaign of Diddy's greatest rival.